Welcome back to another episode of the Vanilla Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about productivity. How are we feeling, boys?
Feeling good.
Productive.
One would
Productive?
say. You had productive days, Ezra?
I've had a pretty flippin' productive day
Okay.
for one main reason. I'm in the midst of I'm doing 7 days of the Scientifically Perfect morning routine for a YouTube video.
Okay.
And so we're just getting straight into this. I felt really productive today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you started off with a productive morning, and that just led straight throughout the day.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a productive morning, and it's made my day a whole lot better. With these, I'm on my 6th day. It's made me feel quite productive. So we'll get into it. But how have you guys been?
Yeah.
Feeling? Have you guys been productive the past few days? Kind of.
Levi?
I would say I've been really sick, so I can't really take this week as a proper week. But I would say I've been reasonably productive.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been working away.
Would you say you are a productive person just in general life right now, this past year?
I would say I am often doing something. I wouldn't say I have a huge amount of downtime, but I can have some lazy days at work. But I would say I'm often we've always got projects going on,
Yeah,
always setting
yeah,
up projects.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
What about you, T-Man?
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot the question was.
Have you been productive the last few days? And then, are you a productive person in general, like this past year? Are you pretty
I
productive?
feel like if you say you're not productive in general, it's talking a bit down on yourself. But
You can be honest.
you
know,
could
if
be
you're,
honest. I feel like I'm fairly productive. In the last couple of days, I've been probably extra productive, which is good. It's not always like that. Just good timing with this potty.
Yeah, it's great timing. And in general, you're pretty productive. Right?
Yeah. When we get into it, I'll talk about kind of some of the hacks I do. But yeah, it's definitely just a challenge just to stay productive and set up a good routine.
Yeah.
But yeah, talking about routines, what is the perfect, is it night or morning routine?
Morning routine. So the perfect morning routine should set you up perfectly for a productive day.
Really? Is it the perfect?
Well,
Like,
scientifically.
Scientific.
Just add scientific onto anything and just make it sound official, eh? Yeah. Scientific.
Backed by science. Come on now. It's pretty much, took me about 2 hours to do. It's like wake up early, get natural sun into your eyes as soon as you can, drink of water with some lemon juice in it, stretch, workout, healthy breakfast, cold shower, journal, and then look at what you're going to do for the day. Set up your steps for the day. And I've just found it so beneficial because I seems getting out of bed at 7 a.m. It's not that early, but I do 7 a.m. Really seems. And it's like, okay, I'm not having like breakfast until after a workout and everything. But anyway, you do your time. You go outside, you meditate for a bit, but I just do some prayer. Pray to God is really good, so you're aligned with the Lord. You do a workout, like you're doing your hard things early in the day. And you don't check your phone for the first 2 hours of the day. And then the hardest thing is the cold shower. A minute cold shower. And it's so tough. But then like right throughout the day, it's like, I've done the hardest thing today. Everything else seems relatively easier. So I found it's been really
Is it efficient as well? Because I'm looking for productivity, but like you said, it's going to be 2 hours in the morning. That's a long time.
It's a good point. I think it is because would you, like anything that I listed out, would you say you shouldn't be doing that in your day?
No, that's
So
fair.
2 hours
That's fair.
does it take a full 2 hours to do
that's
all
pretty
those
short.
things?
Probably could take longer. Keep in mind, you're doing a workout in there.
Oh, okay. A full workout.
Yeah, like 10 minutes of praying is the goal. I don't do 10 minutes, but...
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And like, I know there'll be a whole YouTube video on it, but you're 6 days in. Like, what's the main thing that you think you've got out of doing this thing? And will you continue it into the future? Is it worth continuing?
Yeah, I think I'll try to. I might change up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think we all have these things. It's like, okay, like these little things we're trying to do. Like, I want to not be on my phone during study. Like, I want to put my phone in another room and just not check it and just study for like an hour straight or something. Or I'm trying to just watch like YouTube for one time each day. I'm not trying to watch multiple times, just one time.
Yeah.
And oftentimes I just don't have the mental like resilience to do that. But when you're a productive morning, then it turns out that that I can do those things. So I end up being more productive just because those small things I'm trying to do seem a whole lot easier.
And I was thinking that a couple of days ago, I had a day off work, and sometimes, and normally I would like sleep in on a morning, but I got up and went for a bike ride, and it made me more productive throughout the day.
Oh,
you know,
cool.
yeah, doing
you're
winning the mornings.
Winning the morning, it leads to winning the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the you've been studying recently, Tremaine? You're saying you've
Yeah.
been good. What's some of the hints or tips that you have?
Of study about productivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I may have mentioned it on the podcast. I track every minute of study I do, and I've done that for the semester. Yeah, so every 30 minutes, I track my study, and I find that really great because every day it reminds me, you know, I have a choice to study, and I can still like put a little bit in. And weirdly enough, the biggest thing I've got out of it is just looking at the overview of everything. Like overall, I've done quite a few like pages of study, like 30 minutes,
Yeah.
like in this book. And like, yeah, it's just like I had like what I'm trying to get at is like I had overall it's good, but I had days where I was lazy, and then I had other days where I was super productive. So the biggest lesson I've learned from that is, you know, what's majority? Are you doing majority good work? And if you are, like, that's good. And you're gonna have those tough days. Like I've had those tough days where I've honestly like procrastinated and did nothing, like fully did nothing. And it's, you know, it's cool over time seeing the results. And I feel like I got to explain that better, but you know,
No, you're good. Yeah.
yeah,
I get where you're coming across.
yeah.
Do you see when you calculate how much work you've done? Do you see your productive days and your lazy days?
Yeah, like quite significantly. Like my productive days could be 6 hours in a day of study.
Wow.
Dang,
where
that's
my
good.
non-productive days could be 30 minutes.
Wow.
And yeah, significantly different results. But it is, you wake up and you feel different on different days. And it's really hard to study to the same level of goodness when you're just not feeling like it. And I know that's controversial because it's like, get hard, screw your feelings. And like, I agree with that. Like push through when your feelings aren't good. But in reality, if I'm feeling good and I'm like, man, I'm enjoying studying today, I'm going to push for 6-7 hours because like everything's like, I'm enjoying learning. I like this process of learning. But then there's other days I wake up and it's like a minute. I legit, for the 30 minutes, I have to break it down into like 10-minute slots because that's how unmotivated I am.
Totally.
But on a good day, I might just chuck it on for an hour and do hour slots. So
Interesting.
yeah, so it's quite interesting. And in my mind, it's like I still try and not do it based off feelings, but overall, it's working for me. And yeah.
This is my thing.
Yeah.
Which I'm just realizing. Do you think a morning routine would make you feel good each day?
The scientific
So that
morning
scientifically, so that I'm not being like the advocate. Normally, my morning routine is not great, so I'm not trying to. But
Yeah.
So that you would feel good to study, like so that you could do those hour slots rather than those 10-minute slots.
It could. Yeah.
You could, eh?
Yeah, it might.
As a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
You always like want to do it. It's just like, how do you stay consistent with it? You know.
This is the funniest thing is that because I've been reasonably productive the last 6 days, is when you are being productive, you feel like way better, and you're just like, wow, there's just less stress. And I'm getting my stuff done, and it's like, why am I not always doing this?
Yeah.
And like, if everyone would rather be productive because you feel better, you get more work done,
Yeah.
but you just like it's just that short term. You just choose to not like because you just choose to do whatever else.
Yeah.
It is really hard. Like I've actually tried to notice myself on those days where I don't feel productive. It's extremely hard to study. Like 10 times harder to study than on a productive day. So it's easy on a good day to say, oh, why can't I do this every day? It's because you're feeling so good. You're feeling smart. You feel like you're onto it. But on a bad day, it's just like, it's just hard. It's just really hard.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
So I like the kind of mindset I take into it. And I said for the last 2 days, I've had some good study days.
Yeah,
I actually didn't feel too good on those days. Like I was just a bit tired, and we went out doing karaoke till like 2 a.m. That probably screwed like my like time schedule and daylight savings.
Yeah.
But I was like, I kind of got in this mindset. I was like, I'm not feeling good. Whoa, I'm in this moment where I don't want to study at all, or I don't feel like doing anything. This is the most important moment to be in.
Yeah.
This is it right here. If I can push it through right now, man, what can I do when I feel good? You know? And it kind of excites me. It's like, I'm like, if I wake up and I feel bad, I'm like, and I can push through, like, what am I building? You know, like.
That's a funny concept because
Yeah.
I have this negative connotation or thoughts towards study because I feel like study always gets the better of me. I don't do as much as I should.
Yeah.
But this idea that if you were productive and you get all your study done effectively, like it would feel incredible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
It would feel pretty good.
You'd feel pretty damn good. And I think for everyone, you're productive at some things and you're also not very productive at other things.
Yeah.
Tremaine, you want to tell me, and then Levi, do you want to tell me what are some things that you're pretty good at? Like what's easy for you and what's hard for you? Because I think that could be maybe just choosing things that you're good at.
I noticed a lot of my friends beat me in assignments, but don't study hard for end of year exams. I reckon I'm good for studying hard for end of year exams, and I've always been that way since I was in high school. I could slack off all year, but I'd still get good grades because for some reason it's like I quite like kicking into gear for exams.
Are you already studying for exams?
Yeah, I printed off past papers. I did it at mid-semester
Really?
break. Yeah.
What the crap, bro?
Not fully,
Oh my
not fully
gosh.
studying,
Good
but
on you.
like, yeah, I've made some steps. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's easier for me.
What about you, Levi? What's easy to be productive at?
Oh, easy to be productive.
And
at.
what's harder, maybe, as well?
I mean, just at work, when you got like a big project you're passionate about, it's a lot more easier. I find sometimes the weekly tasks, like I get a bit procrastinating with those kind of things.
Yeah.
So, for example, I can be quite productive. Recently, I spoke at Epic, did a message, and I like started planning that like 2 or 3 weeks advanced. Was
Damn.
like
Yeah.
doing research, was like doing onto it, was working on it even when I should have been
Yeah.
doing other stuff. I feel like if I've got like something, a big project I'm working towards, I find that stuff easy to kind of be more productive with. Sometimes obviously procrastinate the big stuff, but
Yeah.
I think there's the small stuff I find I just procrastinate because like, I have to do it every week, you know. So you kind of like push it aside. But if I've got like a big, speaking opportunity, or we've got a big event coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
It's like, it's more of like you can see the progress and you get excited about it. So
Yeah.
I can something like that I can be more productive with. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess there'll always be aspects that we don't enjoy and aspects we do enjoy in our work.
Yes.
But it's interesting. You're going to be more productive at things you're passionate about.
Yeah.
I think that's super insightful. Like to choose something you're passionate about because it's just going to be easy to be productive and you'll feel better about it. And
Do educators also like things you prioritize? Like what? It's not necessarily the most important thing, but you might see it as the most important thing, so therefore you just prioritize it more.
you rephrase that. So it's
Yeah, can you say that one more time?
Well, I don't know if it is true.
Yeah.
But maybe the things that you perceive as being
more
important.
important.
Um,
You're better at those.
yeah, you stick to those more often because they you think about them more.
Not for me. Like I know my uni is most important,
Yeah.
but it is at the bottom of my list in terms of what I'm going to do first. So maybe for some people, but not for me.
Yeah.
What about you, Ezra? What are the stuff that you're most productive with?
YouTube videos. Making YouTube videos.
Most productive, do you say?
Yeah. I can enter flow state real quick with that. You know,
Okay.
sit
Yeah,
down for an edit.
Bro,
You
yeah,
just
I've
edit.
seen you in it. You're like,
Yeah.
and then it's like
So
a video.
that's really enjoyable, and you feel like, oh wow, it's got heaps of work done.
Yeah.
I've sat down for once and just like crunched out like a whole YouTube video for like 4 hours straight.
Really?
Yeah, it was a shorter video, but it was just like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
But the things I'm not so good at, which is like I need to get better at. I don't just want to use this as an excuse, but I struggle a lot with study right now, like uni in general. I sometimes I sit down and I struggle to do more than 10 minutes studying. You know,
Yeah.
this morning routine has made it a whole lot easier, but study is just rough.
Do you think that's because of like, is it like the chemicals that are being like released in your brain from the morning routine that's making it easier. Like the cold shower, is that giving you like dopamine, or like, like what, why is it? Yeah, it's kinda hard to.
Well, yeah, I think like I heard this a podcast or a video by Jocko Willink, who's like a Navy SEAL or something, and he talked about the importance of a morning routine, and he said that alarm goes off, you have a choice. You say yes, so you hit the alarm and you get up, you don't snooze, and then it's like you have a healthy breakfast, you do a workout, you have a cold shower, so that when this next choice comes, you go to work, and someone brings them fresh donuts for free. Like it's a donut, you'd be stupid not to take one. But I've already said no to snoozing. I've said like no to having some unhealthy breakfast. I've done my work. I've done my cold shower. So now I've ticked off all these boxes. Now it's a whole lot easier to deny the donut. I'm on a diet. I'm not gonna have the donut. You come to do some work. I've already been effective with my morning. Now I can do my work.
Right. Okay.
Small wins.
Small wins. See, I'm the opposite when it comes to the morning. My alarm goes off. I actually get up. I try and get up on time if I have to. And then I just have a hot shower straight away. And that's the only thing that really gets me out of bed, because I'm like, I'm going to be under this hot shower. And I put the hot shower on every morning, religiously having a hot shower.
I adopted that as well.
Yeah.
It kind of gets you out of bed.
Gets me out of bed. My dad does the same thing. Sometimes, because we only have one bathroom, like we're legit, like we hear the other person getting out to go to the shower, and we like just jump out of bed. We used to fight over it, and then we have to say the night before, like, I'm getting up at this time. Like, but yeah, for me, it's like hot shower. Then I'll come back and I'll clean my room and stuff. So that's something I'd say something good. Something I guess just kind of boring that I'm just having to do. But then I'm like coffee and God time and reading my book that I find just fun and enjoyable. And then study. But yeah.
Well, that seems like a winning day. Like shower, cleaning your room. Those are all small wins. Like shower's good. It's a good thing to do in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. So I use it as like to hack my productivity. I do something good to get me out of bed. If you said do the morning routine and you're saying I have to get out of bed to have a cold shower, to eat a healthy breakfast, to do yoga or whatever, prayer, and a workout, I would not want to get out of bed.
It's so rough. Yes. I wouldn't have done it. I said in the video, if it wasn't for the video, I would be snoozing like crazy. Right now.
Yeah. But I find it interesting that you say though that the day is so much more productive and more enjoyable. It's like, why don't we do it? Yeah.
Like why do we not do this? Because literally 15 minutes into my morning, I'm like, I feel great now. Yeah. And like, I feel so ready for the day. I haven't even done my workout yet, but I'm just like ready to do it. Yeah. It's just that first 15 minutes of like, seeps. But then I'm like, I'm in the routine now. It's fine.
Yeah, I guess so. If it's a routine, it becomes a good routine.
This is the thing.
I don't know, like, why don't you have an ice bath every day? Like, it's got so many health. You don't want to jump in a thing of ice every day. Like, can we just be a bit real? Like, we sometimes we just want to have a bit of pleasure. Like, like,
what a quote.
Man, like, I don't know, like,
some spam. Can we have a bit of pleasure?
Sometimes I have this argument with people, and I'm like, life's hard enough. Why make it too much harder? Just like soak up the hardness that's already in life. Why make yourself like Goggins?
Is life actually that hard? Like, what?
Well, I guess it depends. What you're striving for and stuff, and your personality.
I think you want to be challenging yourself, but not going so far beyond. Like, I'm not getting in an ice bath. That'd be a whole different story. But I wake up, like, I put a jacket on, I go outside and just look at the sun, have some prayer. Like, that's not that hard,
No, that's nice.
It's actually kind of nice. Like, it's a nice sunrise. And then I do a workout, but I don't want to make it too hard. So I literally do it for 20 minutes. I keep it real short, realistic. And then a healthy breakfast just means eggs on toast for me.
Yeah.
My cold shower, I start with like a 5-minute hot shower. So it's pretty easy to get in. And it's just that 1 minute of pain, and then I just feel ready for the day.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's funny. I actually have been doing cold swims as well.
Yeah, bro, you've been going hard, T. You've been going hard with the cold swims.
People might think like, oh, he's trying to get like be hard or do like, like these freakish stuff or whatever. Like going for a cold swim, like probably like 4 days a week in winter, which But to be honest, like I enjoyed it. That's why I did it. Like I did it because it was a break from study.
Yeah.
And I found it, quite good. So it's kind of like, if you really don't like something, are you really going to continue to do it long term?
Yeah.
That's a good question, eh?
That's a great question.
This comes back to the gratification or the motivation, I think, podcast. So, you have to enjoy what you're doing. Will get the
Right.
motivation,
Yeah. Mix in the long term and short term. I listened to someone recently. They said he was talking about building muscle on a podcast, and he said, I actually mentioned it to you, Tremaine, but he said some people, for example, they do this crazy diet. They're like, I'm going to shred 10 kilos in like just a few months, and they just do this crazy diet and sick. Like they do shred 10 kilos in 2 months, but then after 2 months is up, it's like, oh, okay, I've done it. Now, like, what do I keep doing the diet? Like, that's so unrealistic. I'm not going to do
fully,
that.
bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he talked about, rather than that, what is actually like build a base where it's like I'm challenging myself, but it's not impossible.
Yeah.
Like what's more realistic? Like let's change the just little behavioral things. I want to have 2 biscuits rather than 7 biscuits every day. That's what I need to start doing.
Yeah.
Which is the small things that are actually realistic, what you can do forever.
I feel like it's low key just doing what you should be doing. like not trying to be like, that whole thing. Recently I'm trying to lose a bit of weight. Not because I'm like, I feel bad about my weight, but I was like, oh, I'll try it out. And at the moment, like, I had to learn about dieting. So this whole week I've been searching like calorie deficits and stuff, like trying to like get the deficit going, whatever it is. I'm not that good at tracking it. But kind of that whole thing of like, I'm going to lose 10 kgs, like exactly what you said. That's what I was thinking to do. And then I was like, no, that's stupid. I was like, I'm going to have just a protein shake where I get banana, peanut butter, oats, and a shake for breakfast. Replace breakfast and replace lunch. No, I don't think it was good.
Oh, it wasn't
and
good.
only have dinner.
So you
I was going to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I realized, no, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm replacing 2 meals of the day with a shake.
Oh, okay.
So
lunch as well.
Just to like lose maybe like 5-6 kgs in like a few weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like,
So it's too much.
Just too much. And then I kind of realized like maybe I could just have a shake for breakfast. And this
Have a regular lunch, maybe.
Yeah, have a regular lunch and have dinner. And today I actually got extra hungry, so I'm like, oh, is the shake enough? And like just getting realistic, because it's like you could try and lose all this weight, but like you said, if I just change my habits again, I'll get it back on. Like what's something, am I going to have enough energy to get me through the day? Does this actually fit my lifestyle? Like,
what are you going to be doing in 5 years' time?
yeah, could I do it in 5 years' time? Is it something that's realistic? Like, could you realistically do this scientifically proven morning routine the majority of your rest of your life?
I think with a few tweaks, I
Yeah.
think it could turn into... It's 7 a.m. wake up. It's not too crazy.
Yeah.
I think... So I'm not going to do it exactly. I think with a few tweaks, I could.
Is it how can we get it into our routine that it like becomes repetitive? You know what I mean? It's like something that works with our lifestyle and is in our routine and regular. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's your behavior rather than... motivation dies after 2 weeks. Like, I'm going to be productive. I'm just going to get so much uni study done. And let's say best case scenario.
Yeah.
You're so productive for the 2 weeks. That ends and that dies. Like, you actually need to be changing your behavior to be productive.
Do you reckon productivity can become a lifestyle then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can have a productive lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I remember my dad always said to me that like when he was younger, it was like kind of lows and highs with things, like those kind of things. But he says when you get older, like they kind of just like level out like that, and it's like your lows and your highs, you just become a bit more stable. And maybe in a sense, like kind of what you were saying, like when we kind of like get to that place of routine, it's like kind of more baseline. It's like we wake up and we do work like usually the same productivity each day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think like
Starts equalizing it.
I don't have any science to back that up, but like I don't know. Like I feel when you get older, that's kind of what happens. Or what do you think?
Not as many highs and lows.
Yeah, kind of just like I'm not saying I like have extreme highs and lows, but like what I was saying before about study, like really bad days and stuff. Like I'm kind of hoping that I kind of like even out and just like
have an average.
kind of like
I get what you mean.
yeah. And I guess it's kind of it comes to that question of finding what's a suitable average. What makes the average? Like what's something what you boys are saying is sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we should like this week us three boys commit to something that see if we can like do it for a week?
Yeah.
Okay. And then next podcast we'll tell them how we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna do that.
What is it? Okay.
Maybe like not the full on morning routine. Like,
Yeah.
because I was, don't know if I could have
Something realistic.
but something realistic. Something realistic we've been
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
I love how you just did a week of.
Let's jump back into
But
it.
this can be like a modified version of it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you
And
could-
so
it
this
could
could be
be-
like a sustainable. As you said, you want to make it sustainable.
Yeah.
Do you all have something different, or should we all the same thing?
I'm gonna do something different.
Okay.
But you go first. You don't
Um,
have to do the tweaked version, but you could.
I'll do the tweaked version of my morning routine. I think that'll be sweet.
What is the tweak version?
Honestly, I don't want to just spit something out. I
Yeah.
might change up a little bit, but I think it'll be 7 a.m. wake up. I might start with a hot shower because it really helps you get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I might have 2 showers in the morning. Yeah, and I think I might just keep it at that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. that
Similar
makes sense.
similar
Yeah.
workout. What about you guys?
I haven't actually thought about it until just asking the question, but
Suddenly you're put on the spot, eh?
but but I reckon wake up reasonable time. Let's say it's harder because every night previously is different, but wake up reasonable time. Do some reading in the mornings. I like the idea of getting outside. I feel like I want to add that to my morning routine. I don't always do it. So even if it's like for 5 minutes, get outside and have a drink of water. And now that's getting into like, summertime and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to add that to my morning tea. Reading, outside, water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's on. Okay. What about you, Jermaine?
I want to look at the sun more. I want to look at the sunrise and the sun
I like
set
that.
more. I reckon it's really good for you. Bit random, but
I feel like you need to make it more measurable.
hell, bro! I just next time I
Like,
say I looked at like 3 sunsets,
Well, yeah,
2
exactly.
sunrises.
Like I want to look at the sunset every night.
every night, bro. Like you have to be realistic with it. Like
Well, whatever it is. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's put it rather than just say I want to look at the sun. It's not bad, but I don't.
I don't know. Like I feel like sometimes when you're too strict with it, like I'm gonna do this every night. Like
Well, this is a great conversation.
yeah,
I don't think that's going to help you if you just say I want to look at the sun more. I think that turns into what does that even mean, and you don't really achieve much.
You have to
That,
put
that fades off in a week.
some parameters around it.
I want like. Nah, I would argue against that. I reckon.
And, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
me
I
why.
reckon-
Tell us why.
I guess I could say I want to look at the sun more than usual. Is that more measurable?
I think that's an example of I have motivation to do that right now. But once your motivation fades, your behavior will level out, and you won't be looking at the sun more. Like a drug addict that says, "I want to smoke less." Okay, well, how are you actually going to do that?
well, you wouldn't say to a drug addict or someone that smokes heaps, like, just completely stop tomorrow. You would say maybe try and stop a little bit at first, see how addicted you are, maybe.
Yeah. So maybe it's
Yeah,
sunset 2 nights a week.
yeah. I guess two. You could say 2 nights a week. I just think like, just a bit of sunset. For example, I'm going for runs and I'm going to the gym at the moment. I don't plan how many times I do it. I guess that is kind of risky. I just like, yeah,
Yeah.
see how it goes.
What do you reckon, Levi? Do you
Sub experiment, guys. So we got the first thing going on, and we've got the second thing as well.
I think you for goals you have to make it measurable and put time frames around it. It's just how we're wired. But I think you don't have to. Yeah, I don't think you have to go every day. I'm going to do this to see the sun. But then you can feel like you've achieved something then as well. Don't you want to be like, I achieved my goal. Otherwise you're like you never achieved anything because you never set the goal.
No, but it's not. For me, it's not about achieving the goal perfectly and how it's set out. It's like I'm so chuffed with myself because in the last week I went for runs and I went to the gym. I can't remember how many times I did, but I know I did it. And so if I come back here and I sit down, I'm like, yeah, I saw 3 sunrises and a few sunsets. Yeah, I saw a few. I get your argument. Okay, this is an example. My mum did a 90-day challenge where she walked every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't miss one day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we were so pleased. Like at the end, I was like, yeah, I was really proud of her. Like I think she had a good distance to it as well each day.
Yeah.
And then I think we got maybe dinner or something. It's like, go you, mum.
It's on.
But the thing is, after those 90 days, she never walked again, and she does actually have a problem with her foot that needs, which is really painful and stuff, which is not good. But the thing is, I feel like it's so easy to, or like if you missed one of those days, to like stop and not start again. I don't know, like it could be another discussion for the podcast, but like, you know, I feel like I've kind of got this new thing, like if majority's good, like what I said at the start of this podcast, majority of the time's good. If the majority is me looking at the sunset or sunrise each week, or is more than usual, I'm happy.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I've heard these things called SMART goals, and SMART is an acronym which stands for specific, measurable, achievable, and then I can't remember what R&T means.
Realistic in time.
Realistic and
Time, I think.
time. Okay. Yeah. Like from everything I've heard, it's like you want to put a number on it, and I think what maybe your mum, not saying she did anything wrong, but maybe it's because maybe every day was too much. Maybe it's fine for her, but maybe if it's like, I'm gonna walk 3 times a day. I'm just gonna get into habit. I walk on my weekdays, and I do that every day.
Yeah, you might be right. Like I also know, I've done SMART goals in uni. But yeah, it's just something else I'm experimenting. Being a little bit.
See what happens. Yeah, we'll come back next week and see how we all went on our morning routines and our see if we made us more productive.
Yeah.
And things like that. Yeah.
We'll see who wins.
Yeah.
See what happens. Yeah.
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 Is you want to do like kind of what you got out of this podcast, you know, on productivity and things like that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this podcast. I thought it was really good. Productivity, just like lots of things about it, being productive and all that good stuff. Yeah. What did you guys get out of it?
Did you really just say productivity?
Like it's kind of not like
being productive and all that good stuff.
Well, okay, SMART goals. Like we talked about the morning routines.
Yeah.
More behavior rather than just doing something.
I like that behavior.
Yeah.
Behavior rather than like season, you know?
Yeah, just motivation or whatever the word may be.
Yeah, I reckon I learned that mornings are important. Mornings, if you can win the mornings, you can win the days, and if you have a good start, it can lead to a good day. So
Small wins. I think small wins.
Small wins.
Yeah, small wins. It adds up to big wins.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, I learned a bit about Ezra's path with productivity in the mornings. I feel like you provided quite a bit of value there. I feel like we really opened the discussion a bit, like for more thinking, for more experimenting.
Maybe we do part 2 next week.
Yeah, it's actually a good idea.
We'll consider it a day.
Man,
let's do it, eh?
Sweet. Call it a podcast.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Vanilla Podcast.